Welcome to In Focus SoCal. I'm Tanya McRae. We're profiling a number of our elected officials so that you can get to know them a little better. Today, we're featuring the mayor of the city of Fontana, Acquanetta Warren. She leads the second largest city in San Bernardino County, which sits 50 miles east of Los Angeles. Incorporated in 1952, Fontana is home to one of the largest solar panel installations in Southern California. And in 2010, residents elected the city's first female and first African-American to serve as mayor. And that woman is still the mayor and is here with me today. Mayor Warren, it is such a pleasure to have you here in our studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Let's start with a little bit about your upbringing. You were born in South LA, 2 blocks from Watts, and there was a lot of social and racial turmoil when you were growing up in the 50s and 60s. And then in the 70s, that area really turned into a hub of Black political and civic engagement. Tell me about some of your more significant memories from your childhood.
The biggest event for me during that time period was the Watts riot. We were terrified. We saw them burn down the one supermarket we had. And for me, seeing the fires and worrying about my friends and losing my favorite Sunday school teacher because she was white, that was devastating. But more importantly, it made me understand how African Americans had been treated in the past. And my dad would always tell me, don't cry about it, don't whine about it, change it. So it gave me some marching orders.
And then how did things start to change in the 70s?
Well, there were more funding that came down. So it gave me a chance to work in a great program with the district attorney's office called District Attorney's Youth Advisory Council. Okay. And there, I laid my platform of making sure that we were just helping people. And we were dealing with a number of things, a lot of gang violence. You know, I had been bused when I came back to my high school, and that was Locke High School, which, by the way, is the home of the Saints.
Okay.
I have to say that.
Okay.
And during that time, I became the first African-American female to be student body president.
So 2 very significant things happened for you during that period. You witnessed the Watts riots.
Yes.
And you were one of the first Black students to be bussed in to integrate LAUSD. What was that experience like, the first few days of school?
I was in the 6th grade. I had to be 11, and I was 11 and a half.
Okay.
I was terrified. And my parents, coming from the South, seeing the civil rights issues, felt that this was an opportunity for me to get a better education. And for me, my mom made it clear, if you work out, your other sisters and brothers, there were 4 of us, and I was the oldest, they can then go to these schools too. Going across to San Pedro to Dana Junior High School by myself on that bus that morning, I was scared. But when I got there, they put me in a classroom by myself with a teacher. And it took Superintendent Johnson at that time for LA Unified School District to come down there and tell the principal that that's not the idea of our integration. We want her in the regular classroom. She plays violin and piano. Her mother wants her in the orchestra, and she has to be in the fold. I had the opportunity to be in the classroom with people I'd never seen in my life. People that looked different from me, people that talked different from me.
From all over the country.
From all over the world.
All over the world. Right.
So it was like an experiment. And for me, it taught me to love everyone because we were just really close. Overall, it was a great experience. But once I got through junior high school, I needed to come back to my hood. I did not want to be on the bus. I wanted to walk to school.
Okay. So where did you end up going to high school?
I went to Locke High School, 4 blocks from my home, and we all walked together. But there was a lot of gang violence, but there was a lot of culture going on. You know, at that time, the Black Pride movement was fast and going, and you were either a part of it or you weren't.
And was your family a part of it?
A big part. Okay. You know, I remember when I got my first natural.
Did you have your pick?
I had the pick in the back of my head. Got to go to the barber shop so they could shave off the top. Okay. I had a ball. You know, Black Power.
But you were able to
serious.
really embrace who you were.
Yeah. I mean, coming from a multicultural high school, a junior high, going into a predominantly Black school, it was amazing. The music has always been the theme for me through my life. Okay. I tell you, things really went bad for me. As I was student body president, one of my friends, Robert Briscoe, was killed on our field running track. And that's when I said, I'm done with this violence. And that turned my world around for me. That's when politics, that's when advocacy became my #1 priority.
Both of your parents were from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes.
And apparently they were emphatic about making sure that the family sat down in front of the TV every night and watched the news to make sure that all of you were up on current events. But they also wanted to make sure that you were well-versed in African American history. And from what I've read, that turned you really into a student of civil rights. Tell me a little bit about that evolution.
It taught us the hate and the disparities that were going on. And we were told, knowing where you came from will always help you get where you need to go. And it did.
So what did you bring back up to South LA that you learned or experienced when you would go down to Birmingham to see your family?
Unity. Everybody was unified. Everybody had a network to help each other. When we were down south, we would all walk to the store together. We were told by my grandmother, look, you're down south. You're not in California. It's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But part of that was understand you came from a long line of warriors and bravery and courage. So you never have to feel bad because you're Black.
That's an important message to bring back home.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Coming up after the break, how Mayor Warren's commitment to bringing quality jobs to Fontana is paying off. You're watching In Focus SoCal. We'll be right back. You moved to Fontana in 1993. And even though you are proudly from South LA, you call Fontana home because you've said that that is the city where you were able to grow personally and professionally. Tell me about that growth and why that's been so important for you in the city of Fontana.
All of these people showed up one day and said, we're buying houses here, and everybody brought different identities. For me, I said, here's a chance for me to really grow and unify people into one effort. And we came together to make sure our community was solid. But we recognized we need to get more involved in city politics so that our whole community could come along. So that's the reason why I call it home, because here were all these young families coming together to make a better place for all of our children.
You were the first Black woman to serve on Fontana City Council, which you did for 8 years, and then you became the city's first Black and first female mayor. What has your experience been being the first on so many different levels in that city?
I've met some of the best people in the world that get behind what I believe in, and we work together. We call ourselves Team Fontana, and we stick together, and we make sure that we make our community what we want it to be.
You are now serving in your 4th term as mayor. How are you different today in that role than when you were first elected in 2010?
I'm focused on bringing other people to the table outside of the city. I'm focused on making sure that the federal level acknowledges that we exist and give us appropriate funding. I'm focused on making sure we work closely with our state partners and other cities. We just convened a homeless meeting for all the mayors in San Bernardino in Fontana, and we had the pleasure of having the regional administrator, Jason Pugh, who is from HUD, to come and talk with us.
One of your goals has been to bolster economic development in Fontana, and according to a new report by Smart Asset using U.S. Census data, Fontana ranks among the top 10 cities in the U.S. for personal income growth. What's happening in the city to create these kind of opportunities for its residents?
We focused on bringing higher paying jobs to Fontana. People look at the big boxes and go warehouses, but they're not. They're manufacturers. And they come in, they're doing research and development, they're giving people an opportunity to have that skill set they need. And we're working with our young people, with our education coalition. We have 5 school districts that service Fontana. And all of them are part of my Mayor's Education Coalition. And we've got great programming to expose our students to these careers.
The median household income in Fontana saw more than a 16% increase from 2019 to 2021, which is more than 5 times the rate of median household income growth across the country during that period. What led to that kind of growth in such a short period of time?
Attracting high-paying jobs, attracting and telling people you can do this. You don't need to drive to LA. You don't need to drive to Orange County. Work here in your community. Be there when your child gets out of school. That's what made the difference. Fontana has the largest amount of jobs of any city in all of San Bernardino. We're up to 103,000 jobs.
And quality of life.
Yes.
All right,
we got
really...
58 parks. We did that early on.
That's incredible.
I know, right in that spirit. We have 58 parks. We did not want our kids hanging out on the corner. We wanted them in parks. Everything that I experienced.
I was about to say, and I imagine from coming from where you came from.
Oh, I used to have to walk 2
really
miles to get to a park. You don't have to do that in Fontana. Practically, they're right around the corner in most cases. Right. We have more activities than anybody. Our book, as I call it, is the Fontana subscription book to all of our activities. Is this thick, but it is no joke. There are so many activities for kids to be involved, and the kids get that book and give it to the parents. When my daughter was growing up, she'd get that book before me, and when I get home, I already listed what I want to sign up for.
That's funny.
And we make it approachable. We use not only our employees to do the work, we contract with instructors. You can do yoga, you can lose weight.
When you found out that San Bernardino County has one of the highest rates of obesity in the state of California, 72% of adults are either overweight or obese. And that led you to start the Healthy Fontana program. Tell me about that.
Kaiser came in and they gave me a real learning there. They said, you have the highest rate in diabetes amongst not only the adults, but it's bad for the children. I mean, people had to make decisions between...
And we're talking type 2 diabetes.
Right. We are in the after-school programs daily. We make sure that all the kids get exercise. That's why we wanted more parks. If you come to our town, you see people all times out, walking, families. Healthy Fontana was the model that went to the county, and then the county spread it amongst the other cities. We were one of the first cities to receive Michelle Obama's gold medal for our Healthy Fontana initiative.
That's amazing.
And now we are bold in how we're helping with mental health services.
That's amazing.
We recognize everything has to be included.
That's where you have to do it. I mean, it's all encompassing, right? Fontana recently received $3 million for the Downtown Revitalization Project, which is going to increase housing, jobs, and entertainment in the downtown district. Tell me what's going to be happening with that project.
Well, the number one part of it is we were able to work with Sammy Hagar. We're going to rename what we call Center Stage. It used to be a dinner theater. It is now going to be called Stage Red. And he's going to be assisting us in bringing these great acts, and he himself is going to come out, and that's going to make a big difference. Sammy is a Fontana guy, and so everybody loves him.
Okay.
So for him to come back home, that's going to make a big difference. We need restaurants. We just opened Spaghies in the Fontana Women's Club. Wonderful experience with Chef Henry. Then we're doing housing.
What kind of food?
Anything you want.
Oh.
But I'm going to tell you, don't drop by and not ask for his pasta.
Okay.
It is no joke. It is delicious.
Okay.
And his salads. He names his salads after people, and they're amazing.
Okay. Does he have one after you yet?
Yes. At our State of the City, it's called the Acquanetta salad.
Ah, I like it.
Cranberries all involved. Everybody knows I love cranberries.
I love it. I love that.
But downtown is going to be our heart. And we're going to have housing down there, so we have traffic, we'll have bars. We're really trying to get people to stay here. We call it stay home. Don't go over to other cities. I don't even say the other cities' names. Come home. And that's what we're trying to do. And people like walking from home to those areas.
Live here, work here, play here.
That's right. And learn here. We do it all.
Fontana has also received more than $10 million in state funding to deal with the homelessness crisis. And you've taken the approach of addressing homelessness on an individual basis, offering tailored services for counseling, job placement, and wraparound support. How are you doing all of that?
We partnered 14 years ago with Water of Life Community Church CityLink. The mayor and the mayor prior to me, we went to Texas and saw if you link church and city together, it makes a difference. They feed 1,000 families a week. So we also try to anticipate prevention of homelessness, and we assist our families. We meet people where they are. They want to keep their animals. We're working with them. We just took 45 people off the street and out of cars, and we're working with people. We want to get people on their feet so they can sustain and be in permanent housing. But we know they got to come in first, and we got to help them get there. We're getting ready to purchase a property that will give us 120 beds, and we're proud of that. So we're looking forward to making sure the #1 priority for this council is homelessness.
Still ahead, how a groundbreaking program provides Fontana students with resources and jobs to help promote future career opportunities. You are a member of California State Treasurer Fiona Ma's Housing, Economic Development, Jobs, and Opportunity Zone Ad Hoc Committee. What kind of work are you doing with that group?
We're networking on information. She's listening to us, and it's giving us all ideas. You know, we got all these parking lots in California, from churches to schools, that nobody's using on a regular basis. Let's start looking at multi-purposing those areas so that we can address our homeless issue. And not only that, we can make more affordable housing for everyone.
Creating educational opportunities has also been one of your top priorities as mayor. And you declared a state of emergency on education in 2019 and then formed the Mayor's Education Coalition. Tell me about that program. I know education, you said we work here, we play here, we get entertained, and we get educated in Fontana. So I know this is important to you.
I had to do that. I had companies coming to me because they wouldn't hire our kids. They said, Acquanetta, they can't read, they can't write, they don't have the etiquette of work studies and all of those things that, like being on time, showing up at work. I had young people, I'd get them a job, they show up at 6, they'd be gone by 9. So we had to pull everyone in the room and say, what are we doing wrong? How can we get our young people up to speed? And it worked. We're starting to see dramatic changes.
Well, they have to learn about these things from somewhere.
Right, but you can't just expect people to sit up in a classroom and be taught the way they've been taught all along. Business has changed. We have to change with it, and that's what we're doing in Fontana.
You have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. How involved are you in your grandchildren's education, or do you stay out of that and leave that to their parents?
You know, I love all my grandchildren. I get the opportunity once a week to take 2 of them to their classrooms. And it's like a time for us to really chat, just the 3 of us.
Okay.
I'm so proud of my oldest grandchild. She's gonna be a baller. She's playing sports, but she is a #1 student and she's learning Japanese.
That's incredible.
So I've already told her.
She's already going to be an international baller.
That's right. So she's so smart. And then the baby, she's like 2 years and 6 months. She is already telling me what to do. And she calls me Grammy. And she has an opinion about everything. What she sees on the street, what's going on with the cars.
Aren't kids amazing in
They
that
are.
way? Right.
And then I call her my little heart there. All of them are my heart. But little Journey is running the place. She tells Grammy just what to do. And she believes what she believes, and that's it. I think she's gonna be like her dad.
You got your hands full.
I do, but I got all girls. I wish I could get some boys up in here.
No, we need strong women, and it sounds like you are helping to raise some for sure. My last question for you is, tell me one thing about yourself that many people might be surprised to know.
I'm shy.
I never would have guessed that one.
I really am. If I can get in a corner and be by myself.
You're an extrovert introvert.
Yes.
Because once you're in your zone, obviously, you are not shy.
And when I'm like that, I play my piano. I sit at my piano at my house and I play it. And my kids have gotten used to that. And they don't bother me when they're around. They know that, you know, this is her time. All my kids help people. When I'm doing something for people, they're right there with me. My sons, they believe in helping people. My oldest son, he's just so full of love for people, and my youngest son just wants to get it done. We call him the dad.
It sounds like they each have a piece of you in their personalities,
they really
for
do.
sure. Mayor Warren, it has been such a pleasure sitting here and getting to know you better. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much. This has been really great, and I love my public safety. I love fire and police. That's what changed our community. Once people felt safe, it started to thrive. So we have to support them, and that's what we do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.